wasn't until 2020 that I actually sat down and watched Texas Chainsaw.
All right, how do I turn this on?
Hey!
Yo.
It's Wednesday night, 7 p.m. And it is your favorite horror news and trailer reaction channel that we are turning into.
And that's all that's going on this week is trailers.
I know. Y'all are watching.
And we do apologize that this is recorded previously.
Yep, y'all are watching a previously recorded show, so leave us comments on the video after the video is done so that we can talk to you guys and respond to you. We should be able to see a replay of the chats. We'll be able to see you guys chatting there. But please leave us a comment and like the video, subscribe to the Screaming Room right now. And so let's get into it. So we got a couple of trailers.
So we're not here for nature.
Right, yeah, we got a couple of trailers to talk about. We've got the Hellboy
we're kicking
trailer
off with Hellboy, right?
And the Beast Within.
What's the full name? What's the full name? Hellboy what?
Hellboy the Crooked Man.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to be getting into. So let's just get into it. Let's watch this and let's see what we're thinking.
So I've already seen it, but you haven't seen it.
I have not seen. I keep myself fresh for the show. I don't taint my eyes. I'm here for the I'm here for the audience. I know. I'm just.
Yeah, I can't help it. Stuff's constantly coming. It's how I have to keep up on news and movies, and
All righty, let's get into this. Here it is. I'm gonna get us down here. Well, no, we got to be here. All righty.
But I have been avoiding trailers like more than in the past. I've kind of got a new rule now where I watch the first trailer of movies, but then the second and third ones that they're doing now, like especially the final one, I'm just
avoiding those. Yeah,
they're just spoiling the movies.
Yeah. All right, let's get into this.
I only sort of paid attention to this though.
Something haunted, evil. It smells like death.
How do you know that?
Dark things called dark things.
Is that?
I heard tales about him, Mama.
Is that still what's his name?
No,
I didn't think so.
We got a new actor playing him. I forget his name.
He looks like him.
It's Jack Casey, I think. Is that
Jack Casey? I don't know. I gotta. I don't think he's like
yeah, that's what I'm doing. I don't think he's like a known, because it's not Ron Perlman or David Harbour.
Yeah, that's
David Harbour.
Jack Kesey.
Yeah, Jack Kesey.
Yeah, it's not Ron Perlman.
What's he been in? What's he been in?
I clicked on the wrong link. I clicked on Jefferson White accidentally. Jack Kesey has been in Baywatch and Death Wish.
Okay, I'm really confused on this movie. Like, let's finish watching it and then I'll kind of get more into my thoughts. But like, I'm really confused on this, and I think you'll see a lot as we go.
Most just called him the Crooked Man.
Oh no, we're getting choppy. Is this still looking smooth for you?
It looks smooth for me.
Huh.
Let's just keep going. I'll see what's going on.
Yeah. Well, anybody that you can go ahead and rewatch this if you want.
Oh, your friends. Hey,
as long as you've seen it, there's no reason to rewind it. You don't know where to watch it.
All right. Well.
Okay.
I mean, that looked pretty good.
What?
You didn't think that looked good?
No, I honestly, the first time I watched it, thought it was fan made.
Really?
I did not. Like, I refused to believe it was real until I started seeing different sources talking about it. Like, it looks so cheaply made. The CGI and the special effects look horrible.
That's okay. Yeah.
I mean, it literally looks fan made because it looks like cosplay Hellboy thrown into just the woods. Like, it doesn't feel like, you know what I mean? It doesn't feel like it's in some fantastical world or you know what I mean? Like, it literally looks like the cheapest location they could come up with. Who's the company that's putting it out? Because I mean, it's a well put together trailer. I'm not criticizing the people who put the trailer together. I'm trying to like read between the lines, and just until honestly that final like 20 seconds where you start to see some like fantastical creatures and whatever, it looks a little better. But the first like good minute of that trailer, I was like, what the
the production company is Campbell Grobman Films. I haven't heard of them.
Yeah, me either. And then who's distributing?
Ketchup Entertainment. Ketchup Entertainment's a distributor, but
yeah, who the who the hell is this? How is there a Hellboy movie that's getting released by like tiny independent? I mean, what is Ketchup Entertainment? So that's what I mean. Like, is this? I mean, it's using the Hellboy name, so like they have the rights to it.
They're known for Ferrari, Hypnotic, which has Ben Affleck in it. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, not good.
Wolves.
Oh God.
Yeah, Ketchup hasn't done anything.
This is bad. Like this is low budget, low production kind of deal. Like that's what I'm confused on. Like who owns the rights? The rights end up being by like this is back in the day something that would go straight to DVD.
I mean, so
like, I think it's theatrical release, but because like Hypnotic had a theatrical release, and it wasn't the worst movie in the world, but
well, I'll give you this. The CGI did look it didn't look great. That snake did not look great. I thought the Hellboy costume I thought that looked good.
Well, yeah, but I see literally that good of looking cosplay at like conventions.
Yeah.
Legitimately. Like aside nowadays it's kind of not a big deal to have a good costume. It's like literally people make shit like that at home. And that's why I literally thought it was a fan made, because it's like an actor I've never seen before. Like I've never watched. Like it's obviously a small like it. And that's what's weird to me is that the rights to Hellboy were like, you know what I mean, a low budget. Because I thought Hellboy was like a bigger IP.
According to IMDb, they're still in the filming. So we got a trailer while they're still filming. According to IMDb.
Well,
so I don't know, but this Ketchup Entertainment.
They've
distributed movies.
Filmed.
Ketchup Entertainment's distributed movies ranging from $100,000 to $70 million.
What was 70 million? Hypnotized or Hypnotic? I mean.
7. I just saw it. Where did it go? Yeah, Hypnotic was 70 million.
Yeah,
Ferrari was 110 million. Never mind. So
they did Ferrari.
Yeah, Ketchup did Ferrari.
Ferrari was really good.
With Michael Mann directed.
Yeah, it was really good. But I mean, it's not like it's just a drama like a biopic. But it was really good. Okay, well, we'll see.
That's it.
To me, it looked. I'm not saying it looks horrible. I was just kind of like, really, like the Hellboy franchise is like I didn't even hear news about this either. Like it's just strange to me.
It just dropped.
Like, did you like the Hellboy movies?
I did. I was a fan.
Because there was the two.
They came out
two, right?
Yeah, there's two. They came out when I was
two by Guillermo del Toro, and then there was the last one that wasn't Guillermo del Toro that most people shit on that starred David Harbour.
Yeah,
I actually thought it was pretty cool. They felt like a graphic novel, like animated movie. It was live action, but it felt like a anime or something. Like it was like super fantastical and evil, and I thought it was pretty cool. I was kind of surprised people shit on it as much as they did.
High School DJ really enjoyed it, both of them. So
I mean, I haven't rewatched them, but I mean,
yeah,
like
no, I
I
have
saw
not.
them all like in theaters, and I've never rewatched them. But
yeah, I should. They probably deserve a rewatch. We should rewatch.
I think
Hellboy.
the second Hellboy was my favorite. The golden something or other. They had the weird like sister and brother that were like white and like the demon, like elves, I think they were, or whatever. I thought that one was pretty dope, like really imaginative. You know, I mean, they're also those movies were kind of a product of their time as well, where it's like there was that, like when you rewatch stuff from that era now, like early 2000s, you're like, ugh, it's kind of cringy because it's got that ultra sheen to it, that Hollywood big budget sheen, which I'm not a big fan of. It's like the only movies I really love from that era are generally the indie ones that didn't have that big budget.
And Hellboy was a relatively unknown comic book character. I mean, like obviously Hellboy fans, you know, were obviously knew about it, but the general audiences, you know, the normies, they didn't. And I was a normie back then. I didn't know. So, but I enjoyed it. So that's Hellboy. Let us know in the comments. What do you guys think about the Hellboy trailer? Let us know.
The funniest thing I saw was people bitching that Ron Perlman wasn't back. And I was like, do people realize how old Ron, like, I never understand it. It's the thing I hear all the time with Freddy Krueger, right? Like, you know, why would you make a new Nightmare on Elm Street and not have God, my brain just farted. Robert Englund. Thank you. God, my brain just totally. Why not have Robert Englund? I'm like, dude, he's an old man. Ron Perlman is 74 years old, dude.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
you're putting him in an action movie playing Hellboy. Like people were like, "Well, he's still doing movies." I'm like, "Yeah, but he's playing the old man that's just kind of chilling. Like that's fine."
Right, he's not Jackie Chan. Like we no, you know, like not everybody's even Jackie Chan.
How often do we see Jackie Chan doing, you know, a lot of the stuff anymore? He's kind of had to, you know, tone it back a little bit too.
I think The Immigrant was the last Jackie Chan movie that I watched where and he still did all of his own stuff.
He did. Totally. But it's not so much that he can't do it, but it's like, I know as someone that's getting, you know, into my like mid 40s, like, it's not that you can't do things. You just either got to do a lot less of them or be a lot more mindful of them. So like, it's more of what happens the next day. It's like, you know, I can still, you know, do this or that, but then the next day I can barely move.
Right.
You know, it's like you could get drunk, but the next day the hangover is going to fucking be like 10 times what it was when you were 20.
Right. Exactly.
You know, and so it's one of those things. But to me, like Jackie Chan's in his 60s?
He's got to be pushing 70. He was making movies in the 70s.
Yeah, he is 70.
Yeah.
So, but that movie was like a couple of years ago, right?
The Immigrant? I want to say at least 10 years.
Yeah, well, he did Ride On, I guess, in 2023.
I
don't know
heard of it.
What kind of stunts and stuff he did in that. But either way, I mean, Jackie Chan is like a freak of nature, like in a good way. But still, Ron Perlman, 74, dude, he's not doing a fucking action Hellboy movie. Even if they were to be like crazy and like cast him in, I don't think he would want to do it.
Right.
You know, Robert Englund has come out many times and said, I don't want to do Freddy. I'm done playing Freddy. Let's pass it on. And yet fans still bitch and moan. And I honestly think it's a big reason why we haven't seen a new Nightmare on Elm Street. Because when they did try to do it, people shit all over it. Even though I have my finger on the pulse of the horror community, and I think most people's problem with that Nightmare remake wasn't what's his name?
Jackie Earle Haley.
Yeah, it wasn't Haley. It was the writing and the like really leaning hard into the child molestation stuff, and like
that's the one thing that
the tone
that's
of
the
it.
the one piece of praise that I can give that movie is that I thought Jackie Earle Haley did a damn good job with what he was given.
I agree. And I think people would have still struggled with him a little bit, but if he had some of the humor, and if the movie had been written in a Nightmare on Elm Street like style, it felt like a Nightmare on Elm Street movie. Because even though it's funny, people have kind of revisited his history, because if you rewatch the first Nightmare on Elm Street, that's a dark, fucked up movie, and the humor that's in it is like it's really a creepy humor. It's not like a laughing. You're not really meant to laugh very much. There's only a couple little things like the tongue out of the phone, where you find yourself actually laughing. Most of it is more of a creepy way, like a macabre sense of humor, right? It's in the later Nightmare on Elm Streets where the humor became much more of a part of it. But
I think
we live now where people have seen all those. If you make a new Nightmare, it's got to have a blend. It's got to, like be like an Evil Dead-ish type of blend between horror and comedy. Or, I mean, I guess you could do a scary one, because like we saw with Evil Dead, especially the 2013 Evil Dead. You can, there's not much humor at all in that, but it still really works.
You can definitely take Freddy to a dark, really horror area with no humor. You can definitely do that. But I think his quips,
I think it's harder to sell.
Just such a staple of the character. You're expecting something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
So
it's like people getting pissed off if you talk about having a Michael Myers talk in a movie. It's like literally a part of that character.
He doesn't talk.
Yeah, it's like, so then if you have Freddy not making jokes, well, then it's literally just a guy in a Freddy suit. It's not Freddy anymore.
Right.
It's like Chucky. The reason the series works and everything is because it's still Chucky. He's still, making jokes, and, nothing's changed. You even still have the same voice,
I love Mark Hamill, but that 2019 remake was not good.
Of Chucky?
Yeah. The Child's Play remake. Yeah.
See, that's another one. Like, it didn't feel like a Child's Play movie. I think if it had been called something else, a lot more people would have been like, "Oh, this is cool," which we saw with Megan, because Megan is literally that movie.
We saw that with Megan, and Megan was better.
Yep. But if they had said like Child's Play, The New Beginning, and it was a female doll, and you know what I mean? Like, I don't think people would have been, even if it was exactly the same movie, I think you would have got a lot more hate. Been like, where's Chucky? That's not Chucky. That's not that, and it makes sense. It's like, why make a sequel? Because then it feels like you're getting cheated as a fan.
Right.
It feels like they're just taking advantage of you. They're just literally using the IP name to get you to go to the theaters and spend your money, but not giving you what you're actually paying for. So, and
that would be par for the course for all of these studios putting out these movies with an IP that already has a fan base. They think they can just shit out a movie and it doesn't matter. It's still going to make money. And they've been proven to be right.
I think they thought that for like the last, up until just the last couple years. And I think they're starting to come around and seeing like, we can get a cash grab, you can still get a cash grab. If you put a Friday the 13th movie out, even if it's trash, you're still going to get people to go see it. But we're not going to be able to make a sequel. It's like what we saw with Jeepers Creepers Reborn. You had people go see that crap, but dude, there's no way anybody would finance a sequel to that. And so, you can get a cash grab, but how do you make more money? You make another good franchise. You make, because even though Halloween, the second two, in my opinion, were not good, still they got 3 movies out of that. All of them made pretty damn good money. They made plenty of money on those movies. So, I mean, it's like, it shows, and they would have made even more if all 3 had been really, really good, because people would be still clamoring for them to make another one.
Right. And I think the latest, like, real franchise for that, like, recently has been Terrifier. As much as I hate to say it, I think Terrifier is,
because each movie ups the stakes so far, and the quality, the humor, like everything it keeps getting turned up. It's one of my concerns, and it's why I love that total brain fart. It's too early. It's early for me over here.
I'm sorry, man.
No, it's fine. I mean, my brain just is not functioning quite yet. But the guy that created the Terrifier movies, I feel bad. I actually have talked to the guy.
Damien Leone.
Really nice guy. Yes, thank you. Leone has said, this is it. Like, I'm done with Terrifier after this third. And I love that. I think that's so smart, because you can only turn that knob up so far, and it's like like the joke level 11. Like it doesn't exist. The reason you don't have a level 11 is because you got to end somewhere. There is a limit to what you can do. And that last Terrifier 2 had ramped it up a ton compared to the first movie. Every element of it was better. And even if you didn't enjoy it, there was a lot of people that actually liked the first one more, but the second one still turned everything up. And I thought it was way better. I thought it was actually a good movie. Whereas that first one, I thought had good things in it. I think the character, I don't even think you'd argue that the character of Art the Clown himself is a great character. You know, and
well,
I think
he's definitely
that's really why everybody goes to see it. You're not going to see it really. Like if it didn't have a charismatic, interesting killer, you know, you'd be like, yeah, it's like
it's
I think most people
I would agree with that. Yeah, Art is a charismatic villain. He's interesting to watch, I guess, for people.
I think after Terrifier 3, he's going to be a Mount Rushmore. Like I really believe it. Like I'm not saying he'll actually be in the top 4, but I think he's going to be talked about as one of the greatest horror villains, like in that top probably 20, which is crazy to say. But I honestly believe it. Like I think Terrifier 3 because I don't know if the third one's going to be better, but it's going to have a much bigger platform. Like it's going to literally, the first one was very limited released.
It's going to get a wide release.
Even at its end. Yeah. Even at the end of its run, it only made like 10 million in theaters because it was only in like I think it was like its max was 500 theaters. And even then it was still only shown like twice a day, like late at night. Whereas this one is a fully wide release, like going to be basically distributed like, and be like a major legit horror movie. You know, I think we're going to see it make 20 million opening weekend.
It probably will. It probably will.
Which is a lot.
$250,000 budget, 15 million world, 10 million US.
Yep.
There you go. Damien Leone's a happy.
And that has nothing to do with the streaming rights, which they've made a bunch of money on that because all the big platforms have bought streaming rights to it at one point or another to the second one. Yeah, I think, but that's the crazy thing. It cost 250,000. This new one, the reports are it's going to be close to 10 million.
Yeah, I see it.
So if you look at like that budgetary and reach, it's going to, I'm excited to see what happens. I'm excited to see if he can actually improve so much that he makes a movie that you actually think is a decent movie.
I'm excited to see if Terrifier 3 is going to have a story.
That's what I mean. Because that's been, to me, my biggest complaint with them. You know, I love the humor of them. I love the look. The special effects are incredible. But the first one had literally no story. The second one had a kind of a story, but it doesn't really make a lot of sense. There's lots of holes in it. It's all over the place. Like, I'm not going to argue at all that it's like a great story either. You know, but it is way more of a story than the first one.
Right.
You know, so I'm curious to see if this one, I just hope all he needs to do is hire an editor to work with and hire a writer to work with. If he were to do those two things, I think this movie would be incredible. I think because he's got so many great ideas. He just, you know, like
I'll do it,
one
Damien.
human.
I'll do it. I will write for you. I will make your movies good.
Yeah, but you're doing the same, which I get why filmmakers do it, right? But you're going to struggle with the same problem of editing your own movie, you know, directing, writing, editing. Like, you'll see. Like, when your movie's done, you'll know, and it's like, this is cool. Like, I have numerous friends that do the same thing, but you'll know in the back of your head, be like, God, this could have been, if I could have got a legit professional in here to do this or that. You know, maybe it's not the editing. Maybe it'll be sound design or whatever it is. You'll like know that it's like, because you're limited with how much you can actually do as one human, not just the workload, but creativity, all of it.
Yeah, I'll admit right now, my next movie, I'm hiring an editor. I'll admit that right now. But like, well, you're going to be the first one to see the script, to see it. So you're going to be one of the first. So don't worry about it. But all right, well, let's get this.
Where are you at on the editing right now?
I'm halfway done.
Like
I'm
how
at the midway
far from
point.
rough? So you're about half through the rough.
Yeah, I would say by the end of the month, I should have a rough cut done.
Cool.
To send out.
Well, see, it's not too late to get, because you may be the one doing the physical editing, but when I say hire an editor or get someone else to edit, I'm not even saying like don't physically edit it like you are. It's more about finding other people that are editors that edit on different levels and really take their advice to heart and actually take actions on the suggestions and things. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
because that's the big, and that's why, like, even as good as Ty West has gotten, and as much as I love Ty West and the way his movies are and all that, I still feel like he needs someone to come in and cut out that extra 5 to 10 minutes. Like, even at the height of where he's at now. And I'm actually interested to see Maxine, because I believe he actually worked with an editor on this one.
Well, we'll see.
Which I'm actually seeing tonight,
coming out this week.
Yeah, I see it tonight.
Yep. All right. Let's get into this next trailer, The Beast Within. I have also not seen this trailer.
Which this stars Kit Harington, right? The guy that played Jack Snow and right? Is that his name?
Jon Snow. Jack Snow.
Yeah.
Jon Snow.
And I was never a big fan of. I was for the first 2 seasons of Game of Thrones. I was a big fan, or maybe 3 seasons, but it started to lose me after a while because it just started to feel like kind of the same way that the TV show Lost me was.
Yeah.
Like series have that problem sometimes where it starts to get like it's just doing it, like X-Files. I love the X-Files. I was the biggest X-Files fan. But after a few seasons, it started to just become like, it felt like it was just this repeating thing where every season you didn't really end up with much, like at the beginning to the end. By the end, you'd look back and be like, I didn't really learn that much. Like, where is this going? I didn't feel like nothing really new happened. I didn't really get any big conclusions or answers or, like the whole, what's the term where with the snake eating its tail, the hair,
it just started eating itself. I don't know what the term is. I don't know what you're looking for.
Yeah. It's where it refers to just like this reciprocal, like you're literally just going around in circles.
Let us know in the comments. What is Kanan talking about?
Nothing new is happening. I don't know. I told you it's too early for me.
All right. Well, let's get into this. Let me
mind you guys. We're not shooting this super early. I just literally work until like 3, 4 in the morning most nights, and so I don't wake up until 8, 9, 10, something like that, and I don't really get moving out of my house or doing much of anything until 2, 3, 4 in the afternoon. Like I don't even eat my first meal of the day until like 3 or 4. So it's not like it's super early. So don't get on TJ like he woke me up or something.
Yeah, leave me alone. I already don't have a lot of fans in the Ghost Pirate crew.
I know it's not another person this week. Stop very comment saying you don't like DJ.
Yeah, because you guys like me. You just don't like my opinions, and that's okay.
Yeah, just deal with it.
You're allowed to. Yeah, I'm going to be here for the long haul. So yeah, deal with it. You'll learn to like me. I promise. You'll learn. All right. Let's
Plus,
watch
it's
this.
a lot more fun to watch some like 2 people, not be on the same. Like I am so sick and tired of seeing content. It doesn't matter if it's in politics or movies or whatever, where it's an echo chamber where everybody just, yeah, we all agree. We all are on the exact same page on every fucking thing. Like, what's the point of that?
Right. Well, now you got me repositioning my coals, so let me do that.
All right. Well, then I'm going to talk about A Quiet Place.
All right. Well, so we'll do that after this. I'm going to just pull up the trailer. So here it is.
We're going to do your coals.
I am. I'm just going to start when we start the trailer. I'm going to do it. Ready? I can still watch. I got
watching it. Oh, okay.
I got it on my other monitor.
Okay.
I got it on my other. I got 2 monitors here.
Well, no, because last time you wanted me to give my mini review while you dealt with that, because it was a way for me to just go while you did your thing.
Yeah, we'll do that. I'm not.
You guys are getting to see. You guys are getting to see some behind the scenes discussions.
All right, here we go.
Because we still have no idea what we're doing with this podcast,
and we never will.
We're learning. We are fucking learning, though. So just deal with it.
Here we go.
These woods, they're my woods. I'm king of these woods.
King.
I, king of these woods.
I love the look of it.
Pronounce me princess.
Like, they probably shot this in Canada, but I mean, it looks gorgeous. Like the cinematography, B-roll, and everything already, you can tell it's going to be a well-shot movie. Holy shit! Hold on.
Mama.
Hold on, go back. Didn't it just say Hypnotic?
Yeah, I was going to say.
So literally, is this being put out by the same company? What was it? Ketchup?
No. No, this isn't.
Oh, executive producer. Okay,
right. So it's people.
But I wonder if they're involved though.
Mama.
Anyway, I love.
Where are you always going?
You love what?
Well, let's finish the.
Okay.
Because I want you to get to see.
I heard you last night. You need to take Willow away.
Are we safe? I would never let anything hurt you. He is your father.
I didn't want this. This cursed. It gets harder to control the rage.
This can't go on.
He's gonna tear that child to pieces. Believe in me.
It's him.
It's okay. Don't be scared. I am a monster. Get inside!
He loves us.
Oh God!
Kneel before your king.
So I love the approach because we've really never seen this done, at least not on a well-polished, well-produced looking movie, but doing it that, like, I don't know if you want to call it elevated or whatever the fuck, that A24 kind of horror. I'm not a huge fan of the term elevated or anything, but like, God damn it. I thought I took the ghost pirate off my thing. Anyway, I love that we're seeing that way of doing it. I don't know if that's going to like necessarily work per se, but I think it looked like at least from just the trailer, I think this looks like it's going to be well put together. The writing, I think, in the story is what's going to really make the impact.
Yeah, I think it looks good.
But I just love that of, because I don't know. For one, there just never is enough werewolf movies, and I'm always frustrated that out of all the different horror tropes and creatures and whatever, that we haven't ever got a lot of werewolf stuff, and I don't exactly know why. Like, we've seen
it's hard to do.
Vampires done to death. We've seen zombies done to death. I think, but I don't see why you can't do it. I know that it is expensive and hard to do transformations, and stuff like that. So I'm sure that's part of it, but.
Well, yeah. And you can blame American Werewolf in London for that. Like, American Werewolf in London set the bar for werewolf transformations. Yeah. And so
it's what we've seen with shark movies too, with Jaws. You're always competing with that. And it's like,
yeah, you're always going to compare your werewolf movie's always going to be compared to American Werewolf in London, because it just was so great and it was practical. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like there was CG in that. That thump.
But
that
I feel like
fingernail
we've had some great werewolf movies.
No, we
since
have.
then. Because I think it just comes down to doing something unique. You just got to find like Dog Soldiers, right? What makes that movie so cool is it's just unique. It's a different style. The way the werewolves look, the way they attack, it's done practically, and it's like astonishingly looking, like with their long legs and how big and tall they are. Like it's super unique. The fact you have soldiers and you actually feel like they're badass soldiers going up against the werewolves. So it's like, I think as long as you do that, what would you say has been the best werewolf movie since? I mean, I guess Howl maybe. I did a top 10, 20. Actually, I did two different lists, like top 10 and then the next 10 down of werewolf movies.
Well, so, I mean, I guess Howl would probably be it, but my favorite so far, I would say my favorite werewolf story is the vignette in Trick or Treat.
Yeah, that's really fun. Did you see Whir?
I don't think so.
Whir is a damn good werewolf movie. The only thing that held that movie back a little bit is that some of the special effects, there's a little CGI used later on in the movie, and it holds it back just a little bit because the problem with CGI, a lot of it is that it dates so fast. It becomes like dated looking in a couple of years. Luckily, most of the stuff is done practically, or a lot of it, and so still holds up pretty damn good. But I think The Cursed, even though I'm not a fan of the CGI, The Cursed or 8 for Silver that came out in 2021, I think is phenomenal. I praise it constantly. I tell people all the time, because it's a very unique werewolf movie. It's almost not even a werewolf movie. It's like not like anything I've really ever seen. It's this blend of the different stuff and very cool movie.
What was it called?
Well, here in the United States, it's called The Cursed, but in other countries, it's 8 for Silver.
Okay, but it's called Cursed here.
The Cursed, yeah, it's on Hulu.
2020 or 2021?
Yep.
The Cursed.
It was so good in theaters, man.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I saw it twice in theaters.
I'll have to check it out. All right, yeah, you can talk about your Quiet
Place Day One. So,
so here you go.
I didn't do a review of it on my main channel. I'm struggling to do individual reviews right now. I'm just workload, just burned out, like whatever. But anybody that's watching this, it's not because I didn't think it was a good enough movie to do a review of. I think it's actually a really, really good movie. The biggest problem and flaw with Day One is that we've already seen the creatures. We already know a lot about them. There's like no mystery. There's nothing new that is done in this movie because we've already seen 2 other movies. So like that's the biggest flaw that it has, because the acting is incredible. Lupita Nyong'o is phenomenal in this. Like she's always incredible. I mean, Academy Award winner, but she's outstanding in this. It's a small cast, but everybody in it is really, really good. And it's interesting because once again, they have to give their pretty much almost all their performance with no dialogue. Everything in between, like with looks and whispers and pointing and expressions, and that's hard to do. It takes a huge part away of your acting to not be able to say anything, but they do a great job in it. I really like the story. It's got a really great heart in it, once again, which has been the thing I got to commend A Quiet Place franchise for, is that the heart. Like these movies really make you feel your feelings. Like they're sad. It's scary and thrilling. Like it's got a lot of emotions packed into it. And this once again does that. I also like that even though this one is in the city and you see the shit go down, it still feels really small and compact because the character they are following Lupita Nyong'o's character is she never really goes outside of this little area. And I don't want to spoil anything and explain why she doesn't really, but beyond things going down, she basically stays in like this small, somewhat city area, not like traveling to another distant place. And so you're not seeing, so even though, you see crazy stuff go down with a lot of people early on in the movie, for a lot of the movie, it feels like what makes A Quiet Place so good. And it's that tension, that anxiety that builds because you feel like you're with these characters creeping around, trying not to make noises because at any corner could be one of these creatures, and it was also cool to see the creatures attacking in packs. Like that's one thing we didn't really see from the first two movies. So if you see the first two, unfortunately your level of fear and the mystery of it, because of already being familiar with these creatures, isn't there. But it's still a beautifully shot movie. The special effects are phenomenal. The acting is incredible. Like it's a really, really good movie. It's just unfortunate because if this was the first one, it rivals the first movie because it it has all those things. It's just, there's no way you can duplicate that feeling you had in the first movie of not knowing what was going on for a lot of that movie, not knowing what the creatures were like, what they looked like, what they could do. Like for a huge chunk of that movie, there's that creepy mystery part that makes movies so good. And the payoff of them was great. So so I think it's really good if you're a fan of especially of the second one. If you enjoyed the second one, I think you're most definitely going to enjoy this one because the second one, you already knew about the creatures too. So I would put this kind of like on par with the second movie. The acting though might be better in this. Cause I mean, it's hard to explain how fantastic of an actress Lupita Nyong'o is. I mean, she's just incredible. So yeah. So that's my thoughts.
Cool. I'll probably catch it on streaming. I don't think.
I mean, it's a grand movie. Like that's the thing about these movies. Seeing them in a totally quiet theater on a big ass screen is pretty amazing with all of these movies, because they really are like a spectacle and the sound and all of that. But if you've already seen the other two, it doesn't have that same impact because of that. So yeah. So, I mean, if you're wanting to go see a movie, definitely go see it in theaters. But I think, I don't think it's the end of I don't think it's one like, like if you're one of those people that are like, I'm going to see one movie this month. I got Maxine, Long Legs, Quiet Place Day One. Like, yeah, you're probably,
there's a lot.
Yeah. You're probably good with, with waiting a minute and, maybe going to see Maxine or I don't know. Right now, my money's on Long Legs. I think Long Legs is going to end up being like the best movie of the year, or at least right up there. I have a feeling like usually every year there's a movie that comes out of nowhere and surprises everyone. I think we still might have that movie. Like last year when Evil Lurks was that movie where everything else, like it was pretty clear. Talk to Me was like the horror movie of the year until all of a sudden When Evil Lurks came out of nowhere, it was just like, yeah.
Yeah.
Same with Godzilla -1. That was another one, like, nobody, like, I had no right to be as good of a movie as this.
Right. Well, I guess that takes us to...
Yeah, our movie of the week.
Yeah, so our movie of the week that we watched and we're going to talk about a little bit in this last few minutes
of the show.
My
pick. It was my
Canaan's pick, vampire flick. Let me pull it up. What I should have been doing while you were doing your review if I was a good producer. So Neil Jordan, the guy responsible for Interview with the Vampire.
You know what? Can you play the trailer but mute it?
Yeah.
So like while we're talking about it, people can get the visuals.
Okay, let me see here. Byzantium trailer.
because I always get frustrated when people talk about review movies, but I don't have any visuals for it because I'm like, I don't know, like it doesn't have the context the same without seeing the visuals.
I'm in Firefox. Give me a second. I gotta get into Chrome because StreamYard does not like Chrome or does not like Firefox with sharing stuff.
Why do you use Firefox?
I like the security.
Yeah, but doesn't Chrome have good security?
No, it's Google.
Yeah, but Google's got everything already.
I've been with Firefox for a long time, and I'm going to stick with them. But yeah, for whatever reason, StreamYard just doesn't like Firefox. All right, let me present this.
It's just funny. You realize we're doing this on YouTube.
I know.
They're owned by Google, so.
So yeah, you want me to just let the trailer play while we talk about it?
Yeah, just mute it though.
Yeah, it's muted.
Cool.
So Byzantium is a 2012 film by Neil Jordan, who's responsible for Interview with the Vampire. And so he made this movie, which is another vampire movie. And the story is essentially these two women, a mother and daughter, are on the run from this vampire clan, coven, whatever, called the Brotherhood, because they're not really supposed to be vampires. And that's not necessarily a spoiler. They get into it eventually, which is part of my critiques for this movie. But
they kind of steal the ability to be vampires, basically.
Right. And so they're just trying to survive. And it's Clara's the mom, Eleanor's the daughter, and Eleanor is this soul.
You asked. That's a big big
spoiler,
dude. Yes. Because they look like sisters and they say they're sisters. It's not till super late in the movie that you find that out.
Well, okay. Well, whoops.
Because that's a big part of it doesn't matter. It's, there's still a good amount.
Sorry, guys. This movie came out in 2012.
Yeah.
So
but it's very little known. It's very little known.
Yeah, it's not very well known, and I can probably tell you why. Because it's not good.
It's a slow burn, and that's not true. It's just a very
slow
art. It's a very slow, artful movie.
It looks fantastic. The cinematography is
well acted,
is beautiful. The acting's okay. The visuals, though, I mean, you can just tell by the trailer. The visuals are great. They're excellent visuals. So you're gonna watch a beautiful movie when you watch this.
It's a movie about feel. It's a movie about feel. It's very like sweeping and like elegant and like, it has that like artful, flowy feel about it. It's not an action-packed vampire movie. This is very much a drama, like a romantic drama, psychological, slow burn art house thriller.
Yeah.
I mean, look, they did The Crying Game and Interview with the Vampire. I mean,
I understand. And I think Interview with the Vampire is a great movie. The problems that I have with this movie is that you feel all 2 hours of this. And I just wish that there was some like other action that goes along with this. The characters themselves, for me, I just don't care about. They try to tell you that, and I've already spoiled it, so we might as well just go into spoilers. I mean, we might as well, since I already, I guess, spoiled it, apparently.
Well, no, because you didn't completely spoil it. Because the reasoning behind why that's her daughter, that's the big spoiler. Right. So, like,
I can't buy into them. And I can't buy into why they feel the way they do. I don't feel like I feel like Clara has like no agency in this movie. And even though she's supposed to be protecting them by moving them all around and getting rid of these this brotherhood that's chasing them, it just feels like she got into her position because she let it happen. And we're supposed to feel sorry for her.
No, she got into it out of desperation. I mean, because this movie starts like the origins of this movie, like where they start out is like what 1800s Europe, like England or something.
Yeah, it's like 200 years ago.
Yeah, and so like they're destitute. So like it all starts out with her. She's basically a prostitute, and just trying to survive and put food on her and take care of her daughter. Like she's solo, and then there's this piece of fucking shit. Like, so there's this really evil character basically that is the crux of the whole story. I think I think the biggest problem you have, and I get it, it's like I try to talk to people about it, watching slow burn, like super slow artsy movies is like a learned skill. It is slow. It's hard to really get invested in it and stick with it until you've kind of become a like I always say, you start out learning to appreciate, then you'll get to enjoy it, then you get to love it. Not everybody gets there, but like that's why I might recommend a movie that a lot of people like you are like, this is fucking horrible, dude. It's so fucking boring. Like, I get it. It's literally taken me years, to watch. Like, did you see the movie Lamb?
No, but I've seen plenty of slow burn films, and I even like, I think
like what is one you
Mass
consider that's a slow burn that you enjoy?
Jacob's Ladder.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's a slow burn.
That's not a slow burn. No, it's not.
How is that a fast-paced movie?
That's just, it's not fast-paced. You realize that there's different levels to this, right?
Right.
That's
there's slow burn.
A dramatic psychological thriller. I would never throw the term slow burn in that.
There's slow burn, and then there's badly paced movies, and I think Byzantium is a badly paced
slow burn art house. Like it's a different. It's a
you
newer
call
thing.
It whatever you want. It's not edited well. If they
I don't agree with that.
You can keep it 2 hours. You can keep it 2 hours, but just streamline the story. Just streamline it.
But it
and like we don't
see. I only push back on that because I think that if you cut it into the way that you're talking, you remove that flowy, artsy feel about it that it has. And it is why this movie isn't more successful, period. It's not a mainstream movie. If they'd cut out 20, 30 minutes of this movie, it would have been a mainstream, so I agree with you on all of that. But
I'm
I
saying
also
it might have been
appreciate and enjoy what the filmmaker was doing. And even though it is what hurts the movie, I actually enjoy it and appreciate it because I get what the vision was. It was meant to have that, like this big, epic kind of artsy, flowy feel. Like it's hard to explain exactly what I'm talking about, but like, and it's like the movie, My Heart Can't Beat Unless You Tell It To, or You Won't Be Alone. Like those are movies that I absolutely love that I feel like did this to perfection. This movie didn't do it to perfection at all. I'm not saying that, but they did. Those did. And it's just this slow prodding dread kind of way of doing a movie where it's built on dread. It's built on anxiety. It's built on being slow and like slowly pulling you in and feeling like this almost gravitational pull, like to a black hole. Like that's the idea behind it.
I felt no suspense watching this movie. It's
not suspense. It's meant to be like dread and anxiety.
It was this slow dread. I didn't feel any
dread and anxiety. Dread and anxiety is a different than like tension or what was the term you used? Like those are different.
Okay. Look, I'll give you that. This creeping sense of dread is different from suspense. I'll give you that. But again, I didn't feel a creeping
most
sense
of you
dread.
out there are going to agree with DJ on this. Most of you will. Like the masses, this is how they see movies, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's how I watched movies. for the vast majority of my life. It probably has only been about the last 5 or 6 years that I've learned to really, it was like once I dove into the art of film, and I learned to appreciate, experimental stuff. I learned to appreciate very artsy stuff, and like all these different things. I learned to appreciate them and the why and the all that. Then I learned to enjoy it, and now I actually love it. And so a lot of times I'll talk about a movie all excitedly and use words like it's amazing, it's incredible, it's fantastic. And most people are like, or not most, but a lot of people will be like, dude, what are you talking about?
How did you feel about the vampire design in this movie? Because that's another complaint that I have about it.
Kind of cheesy.
It's dumb.
I felt like that's what kind of held it back some. But what made up for that to me, one of the things I really love about this movie is how you become a vampire and the whole blood rock part and all of that and the visuals. Like, this movie is worth seeing, in my opinion, because of the look of it, the visuals. Like, this movie,
yes, the movie is visually beautiful. It is visually beautiful. But as far as interesting characters
it's not like, it's not a 5, it's not a 5-star, it's not a movie I highly, highly, highly recommend. It's a movie that I do though still think is enjoyable, and there are things about it I think that are really cool, especially for a movie that nobody knows about, like nobody's seen.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm not sure if I would tell people to watch this or not. I feel like if you're going to watch this movie, I would say pay attention to the cinematography and look at the colors used. Look at the way that they shoot things. The framing is great. It's a very picturesque film. Like that's the praise that I can give it. But everything else, I think it falls flat. I don't think it matches. I think everything else, I think as good as the movie looks, takes away from the stuff that's bad about it and makes it seem worse, in my opinion. If this was shot, you know what? I think, would you say Spring is a slow burn?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
Okay.
Not, especially there's a difference between slow burn and like, there's all these different, and depending on how they're put together. So like, slow burn is one thing, but then a slow burn art house is another thing. Like just like a slow burn psychological thriller would be a different thing too. Like, this is a very artsy movie. It's meant to be slow, and it has that elegance to it. It's almost not even horror. It's one of those where,
yeah, I would.
It is horror because of the idea behind it, and there are horror moments, and you're dealing with vampires, but it is more of an epic art house drama, and I would almost say thriller, even not even horror. So that's why it's so important that when I am talking about a movie or I'm, reviewing a movie, that people listen to all the things I'm saying, because all those things connect together to give you an idea if it's something you're going to enjoy. You know what I mean? Like, you might enjoy slow burn movies. You might enjoy art house movies. You put those two together, because like you might enjoy Green Knight. Like, did you see the Green Knight?
I don't remember.
But see that, like, that one's not, it's got a lot of the elements but it's not a slow burn. It's like, it's got the art house, it's got the psychological, it's got this, the like artsy, creative, like whatever, but it doesn't really have that slow burn. It's got the epic kind of, it's a little slow, but it's just movies are not for everyone.
I haven't seen,
like, Beau is Afraid. Did you see Beau is Afraid?
Yeah, not a fan.
Yeah, that's my point. Like, because that movie has got like some of the elements from this.
I don't know,
like,
man.
It's got that art house slow burn to it.
I think you and I agree there's a difference between slow burn movies and just badly paced movies. And I don't know. I think this is a badly paced movie. I don't think maybe slow burn was the intent. Maybe that's what they were trying to do. But I didn't get it. I didn't get that that's what they're trying to do. I thought that it was just a poorly paced film with characters that are not doing things that are interesting enough, or the stakes aren't high enough for me to care about how long it's taking to get to the climax and conclusion of the film. Like, it just, I don't know. It didn't grab me like that. So maybe I need to watch more slow burn movies. Leave a comment on this video for me to watch good slow burn movies, I guess. But yeah, for me, it just like I said, it was great to look at, but for me, not much else.
Yeah.
Wasn't
it's not
a
a matter of right and wrong either. Like, that's the only thing I kind of disagree with you on, is that I don't think it was poorly done. I think it's by design, and it's just a preference thing. It's just an intention thing. Certain things just don't work. Like for some people, like the whole people hate, like I get a lot of people talking shit every time I talk about Outwaters. And I'm like, dude, the movie is fucking brilliant. But of course it's not for everyone. It's fucking weird, and it's hard to follow, and there's not really much of a narrative or story. It's like super experimental, and it makes you feel all these things, and like that's the point of the movie. That doesn't mean that you have to enjoy it. And that's where I always have this argument with people. Saying something's trash because you didn't enjoy it, or think it's bad because you didn't enjoy it, that's where I have an issue. Because it's like saying I didn't like it, I don't get it, it's not my thing. That all makes sense. But when you say something's bad, or that someone didn't do a good job, when it's clearly not your brand and clearly not something that you're into, to me, that just disqualifies you. It's like, you can't say something's bad when it's not your jam. And I'm not saying that per se about this, the pacing of this, but I'm saying just in general, like people all the time, like The Outwaters and Skinamarink, like both those are movies that people constantly are like, worst movie ever made, they're horrible, blah, blah. Nah, dude, you just don't get it. It's just not your jam. It's just not your expertise. It's like saying, like, it's like music, right? It's a little more clear and easy to understand, I think, with music. So it's like saying country music is bad. No, you just don't like country music. It's not bad. It takes a lot of skill and talent and all that stuff. But yet you hear people say shit like that. It's like, that's horrible. It's the worst music ever. No, dude. It's just not your cup of tea. It's not what vibrates your, gets your brain going, and a lot of that comes down to our upbringing, comes down to, you know what I mean? Like the style of human we are is based on a whole lot of things. And it's, I just wish more people would look at film that way and be like, because when you say something's bad, it's like DJ, as a filmmaker yourself, like you're then tearing down the artist. And if the artist, this was their intention, then it's like, I don't really ever think that's bad. It just may not. I don't like it. The only things I really consider bad a lot of times is like the big Hollywood budget shit where they're clearly just trying to take advantage of people. Like the stuff that Blumhouse has been pumping out this year. Like, that's bad. And it's not even about the people that made the movie per se being bad. It's that you can feel there was a lack of, like, from the studio, there was a lack of giving a shit. They weren't trying to make sure that the right people were in place, that they had the right budget, that the story in itself in the first place was worth making. It was like just about making some money. Let's slap something out that's PG-13 that's going to make us money.
I mean, I agree with you on, saying movies that are bad, just because you don't like them is an invalid critique. And I hope that I hope that I don't come across when I say that. When I say that I think a movie's bad, I try to offer reasons why I don't think, or what I don't think worked, or what I think could be improved. But I can very much admit that, I can very much admit that I just don't like a movie.
So much of that is really just about vocabulary, right? It's just simply about explaining yourself more. And that's kind of all I'm trying to get across to anybody listening to this, to you, is it's just express, like, use your words, you know what I mean? Like, because as someone that's an artist myself, if someone walked up and saw one of my paintings and was like, that's bad, that's stupid, it's like, dude, you have no idea what went into it or what it means. I've had that happen where I'm standing on the fly in a wall in a gallery and I'll see some backwards hat moron walk up and be like, that's stupid. It's like, bro, I may not be good. It may not be good, but it is way above your head. Like, you have no idea what that piece of art is trying to say, how it's made. Like, you know what I mean? The intention behind it, there's so many layers. And so rather than just saying that's bad or stupid, just be like, yeah, I don't get it. And I've had people say that too. And I don't get mad at that. I'm like, people are just like, yeah, it's not my thing. I don't like it. I don't like the style art. I don't, it's not my jam.
Yeah, I guess I would just, so if somebody's going to say that though, then I would ask why. Like, why is that bad? Why is that? So if somebody said that your painting was bad or stupid, I'd be like, well, tell me why. Like, don't. But
that's the thing about pausing, thinking about your words, because words have power, and when
I understand,
when you're reviewing anything, it's important to, people shouldn't always have to pull that out of you. Like, use your own mind too, and think about it, before you comment on the Ghost Power channel or on this channel saying that movie was bad, done. Like, use your words. Be like, I didn't enjoy that movie because of this, and this,
right.
Saying something definitive like that's bad. Why is it bad? You think it's poorly made? Like,
right.
To me, the only thing that should ever label something bad is when it's people not giving a shit. Like, people are not trying to say something. They're not really investing. They're not, you know what I mean? They're just trying to take advantage of people. That makes something bad. That's why I talk so much shit. One of the only movies I've ever talked a ton of shit about and vehemently hate and will die on this hill is Jeepers Creepers Reborn. Because that was straight up. It was just straight up made to take advantage of a fan base. And there's a lot of movies like that, right? But that's one that's super clear. And I don't think very many people would argue with me on. But even the first, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. I did not give it a good review. I didn't like it at all. I thought it was poorly made in a lot of ways. But I still didn't say it's a bad movie, because they definitely tried. Like, everybody involved really did try, and you could easily see they're young. And I also, in my review, pointed out the positives. Like, for as low of a budget as it was, that movie was pretty well shot. The special effects and things that they did visually were pretty damn good. The animated part was really good. It's just, it had a lot of things that were not good, and you could tell there was reasons why they weren't good. Some of it was budget. A lot of it still remains in the second one. And it's that they just take themselves way too serious, man. Right. And it's like, guys, bro, just lighten up a little bit. They did more in the second one. They did more in the second one. But yeah, it's like, dude, it's Winnie the fucking Pooh, man. Like, it doesn't need to be so mean. It's so not fun.
All right. Well, that takes us to the end of the show. And thanks a lot for hanging out with all of us, with the two of us. Let us know
in the comments some movies you want us to watch.
Yes. Let us know what you want to watch, because we're off. Once we get off of here, I got to find a movie that we're going to watch, that Kane and I are going to watch. We're going to talk about next week, and we're going to try to get a short uploaded. Say what?
Yeah, not just that in general, but I just love to hear suggestions. It's like I get them on Ghost Pirate every day, all the time, but I'd love to hear, the core over here, what you guys think. What are some things you'd like to see us talking about? Not just, it doesn't even have to be it could be a news topic too. Like, what do you guys think of so and so? Or we definitely read all the comments, and it will find its way in, a lot of it integrated into what we do down as we go, especially if we see certain things like someone's like, I want to hear your thoughts on Chucky season 4. Is it happening? Like, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. We love talking to you guys. But that's it. So thanks a lot. Thanks again for joining us. And we will be here. Make sure that you like the video and subscribe to the channel, please. And we will be here next Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on YouTube. So thanks again for joining us, folks. Take it easy.
Later, guys.